You know, nyinyi hamuelewi hii maneno.
Yes guys, welcome again to our channel. Now they say that show me your friends and I show you who you are. In the past 2 weeks, the country has been debating about the housing levy, and two people have come out openly to support and to try to explain to Kenyans how this levy will be applied, who will qualify for the houses, and what is it that this 3% deduction will do once the tenure of 7 years is done. But I'll not look deeply into how it will apply. Neither will I look at whether one will qualify to get the house. I beg to look at it differently and ask a question, which is, why do you think Kenyans are so opposed to this housing levy, regardless of the status of an individual? Remember, the people who are going to be deducted are the employed. But as statistics has shown, in Kenya, many people are jobless, and therefore it would only be an issue that concerns those who are employed. But if you gauge how people talk about this tax or contribution, many people, whether they're employed or not, are opposed to this tax regime that the Kenya Kwanza government wants to bring. Let me look at 4 issues that make this bill very emotive. And first of all, 4 reasons why many Kenyans do not trust the government on this housing levy issue. Now, if you're watching us for the first time, welcome, and please take time, a second or two, to subscribe to this video, like and share so that this video can be recommended to a wider population.
And the 3% applies to the person who earns less. I think that is the thing, because even when we went to Senate, we were told, for you who is a member of parliament, you only contribute to 500 and the other contributes to 500. And it is in this act. Who is this? This 3% will apply to the poor, the person whose basically is so thin. You could be imagining that this 3% is nothing. But look, our teachers, our nurses.
Sasa mimi nasikia kuna watu wanakuja wanawaambia hapana, msikubali hii mambo ya mortgage. Wewe kwanza huna mshahara. Ule yako na mshahara anakuja kukuambia ati upinge. Sasa unajua hii dunia iko na utapeli mingi sana.
Now I'll look at 4 issues. And the first one is the image of the Kenya Kwanza cabinet. I have told you that show me your friend and I will show you who you are. There is a perception in the country that the cabinet that was assembled by President William Ruto is one of the most corrupt cabinets the country has ever had. In fact, you will note that during the appointment of this cabinet, those who were implicated in scandals, corruption, and cases had their cases withdrawn first, and then appointment followed. And therefore, if this is a tax or a contribution that is going to attract, or it is going to be deducted from people, and then the government tells you that it will be a saving, and after 7 years you can qualify for it. Kenyans have looked and they have scrutinized this cabinet keenly. And what they are telling President Ruto is that this regime is so corrupt that we cannot trust it with our resources. And therefore, the government should be very serious when it comes to this issue. They must understand that Kenyans are woke, and how they think, it is not by giving clandestine explanations that Charles Hinga was giving or President Ruto has been giving around. First of all, he set himself up. If you look at the appointments he makes, they do not inspire any confidence. And therefore, people who know that even before campaign, President Ruto was associated with many corruption scandals. They were allegations or anything. But you know, in politics, anything that is said repeatedly becomes gospel truth. In this case, the public has not seen any sense in the cabinet to inspire confidence that can make them contribute to that fund. Another reason, the second reason, is the experience that Kenyans have had with the past funds. We have the NSSF, we have the NHIF. These two funds have been contributions and statutory deductions that every salaried Kenyan, and even those who are in self-employment, have endeavored to pay religiously throughout their time when they are still having strength to work. But you will be told that while in other cases the NHIF has tried to work, it is riddled with cases of corruption, many. Then come to NSSF. NSSF has had numerous challenges, and in fact, those who retire will tell you that they suffer getting time and enough space to get this money once they retire. If you have been contributing the rest of your life, and this money that you've been contributing, it has not been having interest. When it comes to now the time when you should be given your retirement benefit, you don't get it at the right time, and you have to go through a lot of bureaucracies to get it. This is something that has made Kenyans more wise, and they are saying, if it is done, controlled, planned by the government, then I am out of it. Another thing you must note is that Kenyans are very sensitive right now, given the current cases of corruption and how they are not being handled seriously. What is it that the government can tell a Kenyan? How can you inspire confidence on me to make me contribute willingly without any coercion? And that is why the government has planned its ways to ensure that this is in a law, and then it will be mandatory. So you realize that this contribution, no Kenyan is ever willing to give it freely the way the government wants it. And therefore, the experience that Kenyans have had with the past funds is a serious consideration. The third issue is that the current economic status of the country does not allow space for more deduction on a worker's pay slip. Remember, NSSF was increased. The reason they gave, they want to teach Kenyans the culture of saving. It was not resisted. The NHIF has been increased. The reason they gave, those who are earning more cannot pay less, and therefore it must be an equal payment. No one complained about that. And in this finance bill, NHIF will be capped at 1,000 shillings for those who are not in formal employment. And therefore, when you look at the current economic status, every commodity is going high in prices. Inflation is rising. Look at the currency exchange rate right now, the forex exchange rate. The Kenya shilling is trading at almost 140 shillings. And therefore, you do not have any space for more deductions. Kenyans have loans. I asked myself this question. For that teacher who is getting 2,000 because of past loan obligations, remember now you are going to deduct roughly 1,000 from your salary, payslip. What will remain if you had deductions until it's squeezed to 2,000 is that you will now be having 1,000 Kenya shillings. This will reduce your purchasing power, and therefore, even that economic growth that they think they are going to spur by creating employment in the construction sector will not come up. The government must be realistic. It must know what it wants and how it wants to implement it. The fourth reason why Kenyans are seriously opposed to this deduction is that it looks like a scandal, it smells like a scandal, it is a scandal. Let me ask you a question. The government has said that they are going to give investors free public land. Free public land. You know the question of land. And then items that are going to be used in these sites are going to be tax-free, meaning that cement, steel, and all other things like fitting doors and everything, the taxation levels are going to be low. And therefore, someone who is going to invest in this is going to be someone who is assured of profit. Remember, the government has secured payment so that you should not be worried whether your houses will be absorbed. But one thing I want to ask, most private sector participants and those who engage even in PPPs, who are they? It is the government trading with itself. It is the government officials who come using proxies to invest. So William Ruto has developed a story here where he is going to use his cronies to invest in the housing sector, take up our public land in the name of housing development, create a situation where those who have some huge cash in their houses can pick that like 100 million, 200 million, take it on housing. They are assured that after some time, this is the payment I am going to get, and there is not going to be depreciation, and they are going to get it with a profit. If this was a PPP engagement, you will realize that the government, the public, and the investor would share loss in case it happens, liabilities. But in this case, the investor is left clean with no liability to account for because everything, the land is free. Everything is tax-free. What you're coming with is your money. You put it there, it grows, and then you go get it on the other end. This is what we call money laundering. Money laundering. Because the person who is going to take his money in this project will not be worried of what will happen next. If you get some money through shoddy deal somewhere, rush with it, invest in that free public land in the name of housing, our land, free. You get it free now. You don't buy it. And then you sell your house at a profit again. And this is going to happen in almost all parts of the country. This is a scandal. It smells like a scandal. It is a scandal. And therefore, if the government wants to develop a housing issue, or it wants to address itself to the housing problem in the country, experts have said that it is not the problem of houses. It is the problem of the serious social amenities and infrastructure. You say that we have Kibera and they don't have water and they don't have toilets. These are things you can build as the government. Create good drainage in those areas. Pump water into those areas. And then create income so that these people, it is not a problem of house, but the income issue. It is a problem of income. And therefore, if the government wants to ensure that Kenyans accept its proposals, it must also know that Kenyans think beyond what they think we are. I thank you for this video. Those are my views. If you have any options, if you have any opinions, you can express them so that we also continue in this discussion and understand where we are headed. Thank you for staying with me till the end. If you're watching this for the first time, we thank you. Please consider subscribing, liking this video, commenting, and telling us more about what you'd want us to discuss. And please share it so that it can spread to a wider viewership. Thank you very much. May God bless you.